Start recording in 3, 2. Scarmageddon's video just randomly started. Where is it? There are like 20 tabs. Where is it? Okay, there we go. That scared the crap out of me. I thought my video was talking to me again. Why does everybody have to update? Ah! Why do I have to update? Ah! Start recording in 3, 2, 1. Go away. No, please. The video hasn't even started yet. Oh. Start recording in 3, 2, 1, go. Hello everybody, this is Mateo, and maybe we can actually get to some actual gameplay on Let's Play Final Fantasy IV. And indeed we can! So, goblins, your very basic enemy, only like 10 HP. This is the biggest group that you can actually meet them in, so I got kind of unlucky there. But you could do your regular attacks, or Cecil has a command called the Dark attack, and it basically takes away like an eighth of his HP, and then he hits all of his enemies for like 30 damage, or depending on the how much damage he regularly does, it cuts it and it hits all of them basically. So that can be helpful for bigger groups. I just wanted to show off that you can also attack. Kain has an ability called Jump. We'll get to that soonish, and I'll explain it when we get to it. Now that there's voice crack. There's the cave we want to go to. However, there is a couple more monsters that we can meet here, including floating eyeballs, which we found at the airship, but I'm showing them again because the battle is automated, and Helldivers. Helldivers have an attack where basically they'll cast Slowing Petrify on you, and after a certain amount of time you'll be stoned and you can't do anything. It's kind of like being knocked out. I'm guessing that flash was a edited battle. And yeah, somebody just talked to us telling us to go away, but we can't go away because this is the way that we have to go, and otherwise the game would be over. So this continuously stopping music is annoying. The music stops whenever you get into a random battle, and the movements are pretty fluid. I like how I edited this to completely brag about myself, but yeah, I just think that this worked out pretty well because you can really tell, except for sound-wise, where I edited. So yeah, in the Mist Cave there are two enemies that we can find, Insectus and Flying Eyes. Insectus will cast Slow on you if you hit them, but don't kill them in one hit. And I think Flying Eyes have some type of spell that will cast Blind on you, whereas you'll hit less often, although I'm unsure about that. We can also find Sword Rats, which are basic enemy, kind of like the ones outside, except they have a counter-attack called Needle, which will basically hit whoever attacks them for around 10-20 damage, not much. Although Cecil is dying, sort of. I can safely say that these beginning monsters aren't all that deadly or difficult. But now we have to refuse, and then we get attacked by our very first boss, the Mist Dragon. I used Dark there. I don't really suggest it because, as you can see, it only did 18 damage, and now Cecil is in critical. And that was Jump right there, which is actually... okay, good. So there's a chance that Kain could get hit by the next attack. Oh no, okay, it's not that much actually. Jump, basically, Kain will obviously jump in the air, and when he's in the air, he can't be hit by anything. That includes enemy attacks, enemy spells, and even your own curing spells or whatever. It won't hurt him, or in the case of the curing spells, heal him. And then it'll do a bunch of damage. It's very effective against flying enemies, but other than that, and bosses, but other than that, not really helpful. Now then, all the later Final Fantasy games have a boss like this, where the boss takes a form in which you can't hit them, and if you attempt to hit them, you will get hit by a counterattack. Could we go back to dragon form so I can beat you up some more, please? But seriously, like, Final Fantasy IV has this. Final Fantasy V has the eagle thing. I don't know about Final Fantasy VI, I don't remember. Yeah, the Final Fantasy VI, they had the snail guy. I couldn't remember what the first boss was in that game. Final Fantasy VII had the scorpion robot guy. Final Fantasy VIII didn't. So that's kind of where they stopped that whole trend thing. But yeah, we beat the Mist Dragon. We could go out here. And out here we can find two monsters, Hundlegs and Desert Sahagins. Nothing really special about them. Hundlegs is pretty big and has a pretty nasty physical attack. Unless they're like screwing around, you shouldn't have to worry about that though. So yeah, we got those two. We can also find those in the next area. Bleh. Excuse me, I burped. We can find those in the next area, and that we'll go to after this scene. Oh my god! The bomb ring produced monsters that are called bombs in this game. Who knew? I didn't see it coming. I wish they had thought of the name Carnelian Signet, or something like that, Carlinian. Like they did in the DS and PSP versions. That's a lot less, like, easy to figure out. Everything's fine, the screen is just red. That means we destroyed the village. Like, seriously, nothing's actually destroyed. I mean, look at it. All the houses are fine, no holes whatsoever. The screen's just red. And if you come back here later on, because you can do that, everything's fine, and the screen's not even red anymore. So we really didn't destroy anything, we just basically released a bunch of monsters into the world, in a world that already had a bunch of monsters, but these are bombs, they'll explode and stuff, so whatever. I like the DS version more, how they actually had fire and stuff. And stuff was being destroyed, and the bombs were going rampant and destroying everything, like they actually said they were. Well, where in this version, it's just red screen of death. Same goes with the PSP remake, I think. I really didn't pay much attention during this scene. I've been speeding through the PSP remake, really, because I just want to play through that just to say that I have. And then I can move on to the interlude and After Years. I'd like to do a Let's Play on those two, but I really don't know how that'll work, because it's kind of on the PSP. And now we get to beat up a little girl! Also, Kane's attacking with fists. You'll see why in a second. And then she summons a big guy. And then he gets angry, and then earthquake, and oh god, we're dead. Great, game over. Now we have to see the effects of our actions, and that'll be it for the game. Huh. There's like 8 minutes left in the video. That means that our effects were pretty lengthy for just beating up a little girl. Did she take over the entire world and then destroy everything? Well, I don't think so, because right now she's lying on the ground, and the screen is shaking. First it's red, and now it's shaking. Oh my god. The world is falling apart. Great, we did end the world. And now we can't find Kane. And this is why I removed all of his equipment, and why I took that pause break, basically, right before we went to Mist. That was me removing his equipment. And like I said before, you can find Desert Sahagins in this area, as well as Hundlegs, and one other, much more deadly monster. We will get to that once we get a new party member. But to do that, we have to head into the next town. See, lots of progress this episode. We're finally actually doing things rather than watching cutscenes. And sure, there are cutscenes, but they're far and few between, and a lot shorter than the beginning cutscenes. But again, those were really setting up the scene for the game. Now, in the middle of the desert, you will find this town, the Oasis of the Desert, Kaipo. And Cecil will automatically walk over to the inn, and you get an automatic rest. So you can be fully healed and stuff. And you can progress the story as well. so it's all good. Oh hi, the girl awakens as soon as we put her in the bed. How helpful. Great, the girl's a silent protagonist. That is fantastic. Conversation is going to be so incredibly difficult. Okay, well then, we have no other choice. We got this in for free. We might as well fall asleep, except... It's people! See, she didn't say anything like... They didn't even put a gasp thing, they just put an exclamation mark. And again! She really is a silent protagonist. I didn't even notice this before. But, yeah, another boss fight. 2 boss fights in the same video. This one, not nearly as difficult. Basically, take out 2 of the Baron soldiers, and then start attacking the general. Do not use Dark, because if you defeat all 3 Baron soldiers before you defeat the general will run away, and you will both lose out on your Bestiary entry, and you won't get as much experience. And whenever the general calls out attack, your enemies will attack you. However, when the general is dead, they don't know what to do, so they either end up staying still or attacking themselves, because they are just that stupid. Now, with only 1 party member, this is going to take a while, but by getting rid of 2 of those soldiers, we've cut down the amount of damage that we can get, and then we can take out the 3rd soldier, and we're done. See, 869 experience. That is quite a bit at this stage in the game. So, are you actually going to say anything? Oh, hi, she did! She did! Yep, I promise. And then we go to grind with her for a bit because she's only level 1 and she automatically dies. Fantastic. But it's okay because it's a different kind of death. The death that you can awaken from. Okay, let's go grinding because you're level 1, you're a spellcaster, yeah, you have no spells. And you're just horrible right now altogether. But first we're going to go looking around Kaibo a bit. I'm probably going to train Radio anywhere between level 8 and 11, somewhere around there, to get her the basic elemental spells. However, she can't learn the fire spell, so you have to watch out for that. And by the way, Radia is that other party member that I was talking about. And oh, hi, here's Rosa. You have to make sure that you go and talk to her to progress the story. There will be a guy blocking your path later on, and he won't let you go on unless you talk to Rosa. And in the DS remake, you'd also have to go over here and talk to the Fat Chocobo, because in that game, Radia has an... what do I call the summons in this game? Espers? She has a summon called Wit or White, and then they explain Fat Chocobo over there and how White adds a couple of side quests to the game and whatnot. So you need to do that in the DS version. But yeah, here's that big monster I was talking about, the Sandworm. It has an attack, Tornado, where it will bring you down to critical levels, like below 10 HP. It doesn't have that much HP though, and it hits pretty hard as well. And I usually find it on the grass for whatever reason, not on the actual desert. So you might want to try that if you're having difficulties actually finding it. So yep, in 50 gil, not much. You could get that in like two very easy battles. It's just that the damage adds up after a while. So you want to take a rest every once in a while, but other than that, you're fine. Okay, now then, with that, I'm pretty sure that our grinding is done. I basically grinded up to level 8, and then continued grinding until I found that Sandworm. And now we're going to buy some equipment with all the money that we have, 4,000 gil. So she has all the army that she needs. However, we're going to buy 1 more leather cap. And we're also going to sell all of Kane's old equipment, because nobody else can use it. Well, Cecil can, but his equipment's better, so why use it? Okay, so yeah, she's level 12 now, so bleh. Around there, level 10 would be good. Get her around 150, 120 HP, so she could actually survive a couple hits. But she learned Blizzard and Thunder, which are the only spells I really care about. I think she also learned Cure, and she already had the Chocobo summon. If you get lucky and beat a goblin, you could get the goblin summon, which works kind of like the chocobo, only a little differently. I don't really know how because I never got it before. And if you defeat a helldiver, or yeah, just a helldiver right now, you could get the cockatrice summon, which I don't know what that does either. There are also 2 more summons that you could get by enemies dropping them as items. That's the Mind Flare and the Bomb. Bombs you saw earlier, they completely obliterated Radia's village. You just defeat an enemy like that, they could possibly drop the bomb summon. And Mind Flare, I don't remember what you have to defeat to get those codes. I know what a Mind Flare looks like. It's like those guys with the tentacle mouth things, but I don't know what you're supposed to actually defeat in this game to get that summon. But oh well. We're just going to head on to our next dungeon, which we did not cut this battle out, for whatever reason. Because of that spot at the beginning for like 50 seconds, I'm now like a minute ahead, and it's awkward. But yeah, you could use Radio's Rod as an item and use an attack called Mage Arrows, which doesn't do that much damage, but you could take one of these guys out in 2 hits. And she usually misses if she attacks or whatever. So that's that. Cecil gained a level, and I will see you next time.